All right, some feedback coming in on the draft stuff because it's going on right now. And we were asking people, first of all, yesterday at the beginning of the show, we asked wide receivers, tight ends, and quarterbacks worked out Thursday at the NFL Combine. Who impressed you the most? And then the second part of the question is running backs and offensive linemen's work out today. Which running back or offensive lineman interests you the most for the Lions? And what resource would you use to get them? Just like we did yesterday with the wide receivers, tight ends, and quarterbacks. And look, everybody likes to call their shot. You have your favorites. There's guys you'd like to see wear the Honolulu blue and silver. And every once in a while, they draft a guy that you're a big fan of. Who would be that guy if you wanted a running back or an offensive lineman? Feedback coming in. I'm not even a Lions fan. I'm a Steelers fan. But Zach Moss is a running back I love. He has the best patience I've seen in a running back since Le'Veon Bell. We've talked a lot about Le'Veon Bell's running style. His running style is, I feel like if you had the quintessential picture of Le'Veon Bell, his running style, it would be Le'Veon Bell behind a couple of offensive linemen with his hand out on their back, like just riding the hip of an offensive lineman, waiting for that hole to open up.
Yep.
That is the quintessential Le'Veon Bell running style. And it really worked for him.
Worked for him in Pittsburgh when they had good offensive linemen. Not so much with the Jets, and the Jets are nowhere near as talented a team as Pittsburgh is. But, yeah, I don't know if that running style works everywhere. I mean, it really is dependent on how good – like you're betting that offensive line eventually is going to win his battle. Mm-hmm. And when he does, you take advantage of it. Well, that style doesn't work when the offensive lineman isn't going to win his battle. The defensive player is already in the backfield with you. Then you got to rely on other skills. He's a hell of a player, Le'Veon Bell, but that style doesn't work everywhere, and it doesn't work for everyone.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the best running back in the draft, should be the first running back off the board.
Well, he's got a lot of talent. He's little.
Yep.
His size is probably has a lot of people questioning him, but you can't question the heart of the player. He is relentless when he's got the ball. I'm curious to see how fast he runs. He's built low to the ground, but he's powerful.
Yeah, should be the first running back off the board. Again, I like this take, whoever sent it, because you're not just regurgitating the same old stuff, and you might be right. You might be right. You never know who the best running back's going to be, but that's a different opinion. From an unnamed texter, Gator, you're too Big Ten biased. Every scout knows Swift is the best back.
I'm not going to deny that. I may absolutely be biased with the guys that I watch play every week, and I didn't see DeAndre Swift play all the time. I'm just hesitant towards it. I don't know. He didn't blow me away.
I mean, at this point, I would agree that we probably both of us are too Big Ten biased, but there's some pretty good Big Ten backs right now.
I mean, Swift had 4 games of over 100 yards rushing this past season. 4.
From Tom, I know it was a running back by committee, but I really like Patrick Taylor out of Memphis. Really big guy, 6'3", 227. Good project. Personally, I don't want Jonathan Taylor. With the exception of Melvin Gordon, all Wisconsin running backs have been huge disappointments in the NFL, and I believe it's more system than player. Give me Dobbins all day. That's from Mike.
In contrast to DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor had 4 200-yard rushing games this past season. That went with another 4 100-yard games he had this past season. Actually, more than that, 5, 6 100-yard games.
Yeah, but you know how it works. It doesn't matter really what you did in college. It's what you project to do in the NFL. And if DeAndre Swift is projected by a lot of scouts, I'm not sure he's going to be better than Taylor or Dobbins, but he was projected to do better. That's the reason why he's the first running back. A lot of people have him as the first running back selected.
Well, and that's fine. I'm not taking a running back in the first round.
Well, I'm just saying in general.
No, I get it. And I fully admit, I've watched Dobbins a lot. I've watched Taylor a lot. I have not watched Swift a lot. You know, I go a lot by numbers, and it's unfair, and I admit that it's unfair. I recognize that just about everybody has Swift as number one running back in the draft. Well, good. Then I don't have to worry about it because he's not going to be available to the Lions when they pick in the second round when they might be looking at a running back. They're looking at a running back.
But don't you want the best running back you can get?
Yeah, I suppose. Of course. But
sometimes you want the best player for the right spot. Like, would I use the pick at 3 for Swift? No. You trade down and they get some extra draft capital. Would I take him in the first round, maybe late first round with that pick, Miami pick at 26? Maybe. I kind of expect him to be gone before the Lions pick at 3 in the second round, and I'm perfectly fine with it because I love the 2 backs that they'd be choosing from, the 2 Big Ten backs. Now, if he's there, then it probably calls for a lot more homework on both of our parts.
Yeah, I'm not going to be throwing dishes against the wall if they take a running back and it's DeAndre Swift. It sounds like great. Okay, they think he's number 1 back. That's great. He may not be the guy I would have taken, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to argue about it.
We don't know how any team's draft board looks, and let's just say the Lions have their draft board looks as far as running back goes: Swift, Taylor, Dobbins, in that order. And for some reason, Taylor and Dobbins go first, and Swift is there for them in the second round, and they're like, "Oh my God, our number 1 back is still there. We're taking Swift." Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what he did in college; it's what he projects.
I'm not going to be pissed that they should have traded up and gotten Jonathan Taylor. Not if Swift is there for him in the second round. That's fine.
Can't believe you never talk about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He is far above pass threat of the other 2 backs. He has Ezekiel Elliott and MJD traits. It's from an unnamed texter.
He's 5'7", 207 pounds. He's a really, really, really good player. I remember Gary Danielson earlier in this season was on with the guys in the morning show, and he had talked about how he had thought that at the time that Edwards-Helaire was the MVP of LSU.
What was his size?
5'7", 207.
Maurice Jones-Drew was listed his playing days as 5'7", 210. So it's a great comparison.
He's getting a lot of comparisons to actually, no, I think it was another running back. He's getting comparisons to Sproles.
LaMichael Pirine from Florida is under the radar. Great all-around back who unfortunately had to run behind a bad offensive line. He's a stud who would be a steal in the later rounds. 248-539-9797. Thanks for all your feedback on that. Let's get back to your